Hi, I'm Shane Bangle with the Manna Group, and I want to take a moment to tell you why we called the Manna Group. How did that happen and come to be? So, I've been working in real estate for a little over 5 years. When I began my career, I started on a team, and it's a really great way to begin a career, also sustain a career depending on what you're trying to do. So, I was on a real estate team. I had worked to a place where I was going to partner with that team. Everything was going really well. We agreed to a partnership, and that partnership lasted for a very short time, about 6 weeks. I don't think partnerships are difficult, they're hard to accomplish. You're not always going to see eye to eye. That put me into a little bit of a nervous spot because I had started with this team, I had grown to partnership. I thought, okay, these things are all going in a great direction. What does the Lord have next? And honestly, I didn't know. I thought, hey, maybe I'll go become a mortgage officer and do lending. Maybe I'll get into commercial real estate. Ultimately, God kept just revealing to me that I was going to stay in residential real estate. And I found out on a Super Bowl Sunday that the partnership wasn't going to work out. And I was out of town on vacation with my family. We got back in town on a Wednesday night. Thursday, I went to this real estate training for social media. I met a really amazing guy, Andy Taylor. There was a lot of things, a lot of crazy just overlap. We'd actually gone to the same university. We grew up in the same hometown. We both grew up in Las Vegas. And I got a lot of guidance and direction from Andy, which was super helpful to me. But at the time, I was very nervous. I was really worried, like, man, am I gonna have enough business? I had done a substantial amount of business the previous year, and about half of it was from my own efforts and about half of it was from the team. Real estate is really based on you generate enough leads to then work those leads and get to transactions, and that's how we get compensated. So I was quite nervous that I wasn't gonna have enough leads, and Thursday happened, I was feeling a little bit better. Then Friday morning I was telling my kids just randomly, I said, hey, do you know the story of manna in the Bible? My kids were like, no, Dad, we don't know what you're talking about. And I said, well, when the Israelites were traveling from Egypt to the Promised Land, they spent 40 years in the desert, which is a long time. The desert doesn't have a lot of food, a lot of ways to sustain, but God provided food for them daily in the form of what is called manna. And every day they would go out, they'd wake up, there'd be manna on the ground, they'd collect it, and they'd daily provide for them. Also, if they tried to store that for the next day, they collected more than they needed, they would go bad overnight. And I told my kids, I said, God gives us this story, even though you're very secure, we have a roof over our head, we have lots of food in the pantry. If all of this burned down, God would provide for us the next day. We would have shelter and we'd have food. His character hasn't changed from way back then to now. Little did I know, though, I was a little bit preaching to myself because I had been being nervous about how many leads I was going to have. Was I going to have enough leads to sustain my business? And for the next 5 days, every single day I got 1 lead a day. From very random sources, from a sign call, from a guy doing construction in my house, a previous client referral. Every single day, just one. And that's quite a lot of business to get in a 5-day span. At the end of the 5 days, I said to God, God, I understand you provide the manna, and I just have to go out and collect daily what you have for me and trust you for the rest. And that was the beginning birthplaces of the Manna Group, and it has been now running for a little over 2 years, and God has provided each and every day for us on this team and everything that we've done, and we're extremely grateful. And we hope the Manna Group continues to thrive and strive as we go into these future years.